So,
Sige po, sir.
mag-start na. Sige. Good afternoon. So, mag-start na yung discussion natin for today. Alamin natin yung bagong topic natin. Yung new topic na i-discuss ko is the soil bearing capacity. This is Unit 5 sa ating Geotechnical Engineering 2 na subject. No? So, tapos na tayo sa Geotechnical Engineering 1. So, itong mga topics na to under Geotechnical Engineering 2. No? I think parang kulang tong objectives ko. Allowable bearing capacity, net and compute the net and gross ultimate bearing capacity, mga master, no? Sa soil bearing capacity, saan ba ginagamit yung soil bearing capacity? Sa design ng footing, mga master. Kunwari, meron tayong structural analysis, di ba? Ayan, structural analysis. So, meron kasi tayong load na binibigay sa lupa. For example, this is your building, mga master. This is your building. Ito yung ating lupa. Ayan. For example, may mga, ano siya, kunwari mat foundation yan. Or, ganito na lang. Kunwari mat foundation siya, composed of many footing, ay many column in a single footing. That is a mat foundation, mga master. So, ang kanyang cross-section magiging ganito. I think parang ganito siya, mga master, no? May mga column sa building na susupport sa ating building. Ayan. So, sa isang single footing, nag-act yung maraming mga column. Ayan. So, binibigyan niya ng load itong lupa natin. So, nagkakaroon ng pressure sa ilalim. Ayan. Nagkakaroon tayo ng pressure sa ilalim ng footing natin, mga master. Ayan. That is a pressure load or uniformly distributed load na in KPA. Na KPA siya. So, itong bearing pressure na to or soil bearing pressure, this is your soil bearing pressure. Soil bearing pressure. That is your soil bearing pressure, mga master. Itong soil bearing pressure na to, nililimit ito sa design. We have a limitation. Limitation for safe design, mga master. Safe design. So, after mag-conduct ng structural analysis, dito kasi tinitignan ng geotechnical, ay ng structural engineer, yung design parameters na gagamitin niya para makapag-design siya ng footing sa ating sa ating structure, mga master, no? So, itong topic na to, mahalaga siyang factor sa design, no? So, yung objectives natin, explain the difference. Ano ba pagkakaiba ng general shear failure and the local shear failure? So, hindi lang kasi dalawa yan. Meron pa tayong punching shear failure. So, that is the type or they are the different types of failure na mag-occur sa ating soil, no? Tapos, we will also explain the three components. Meron daw three components yung ating bearing capacity based sa Tersagis equation. Bearing capacity equation, no? So, maraming formula or equation from different geotechnical scientists. Pero, magfo-focus tayo sa topic na to kay Carl Terzaghi. Ayan. Kay Terzaghi's bearing capacity only. Meron kasing iba-iba yan eh. May basic, merong Skemptons, merong Hansen's formula, maraming method sa pagkuha ng bearing capacity. Pero yung gagamitin lang natin, yung kay Tersagi, no? Marami tayong mga soil scientists na nag-experiment to obtain a solution para sa bearing capacity. So, these are the definition of terms. Ayan, alam na natin to, mga master. Foundation, ano ba yung foundation? Hindi ko na babasahin. Alam na natin to. Foundation, ito yung sumusupport sa building natin. Ayan. That is your foundation, mga master. Pwede natin sabihin na itong part na to is a foundation. Foundation. Pwede natin sabihin na ito yung foundation natin. Pwede natin sabihin na yan yung foundation, di ba? Tapos, ano pa? Footing. Ano ba yung footing? Alam na natin yung footing kung sanay na tayo sa construction. Yung footing, ito isa sa type ng footing. This is a mat footing. Kapag maraming column sa isang footing, tinatawag siyang mat footing, mga master. Ayan, mat footing, di ba? Meron tayong tinatawag din na single footing. Ganito yung itsura niya. Single footing. Kung nagka-construction na kayo, alam nyo to. Ayan. May column, tapos may footing. This is tinatawag na isolated footing. Isolated footing. Ayan. Isang footing lang yan, mga master. Yung kanyang cross-section, ay yung kanyang elevation view. Ganito yung itsura niya. Ayan, pag ganyan, mga master. Nakapatong yung column sa ating footing. Alam na natin yan, di ba? Sa construction.
Sir, wala akong naka-share screen ba, sir?
Ay. Hindi niya sinabi, di naka-share screen. Pero naka-record sa ko. Sa recording. Nakikita na recording to kasi kung ano nasa screen ko, yun yung mare-record. Kahit hindi naka-share screen. Di nila sinasabi, hindi naka-share screen. Ayan. So, ayun nga. Foundation, ito yung part ng soil ay part ng structure na nagsusupport sa lahat ng loads na binibigay ng ating building, no? Tapos itong footing, ito yung isang isolated na part sa ating structure. Pwedeng magkaroon ng combined footing, trapezoidal footing, depende sa itsura ng shape ng ating footing, no? Tapos, shallow foundation. Pag sinabing shallow foundation, yung nag-define ng depth na to is si Muni Budhu. Yung 2.5 na yan. Pero pwede rin nating df over b equals to or less than or equal to 4 para masabi nating shallow foundation. So, maraming definition para masabi natin na shallow foundation. Etong df na to over b, ito yung df, mga master. Ito yung lalim ng footing mo galing sa lupa. This is your df, mga master. Yung df na yan yung lalim ng foundation galing sa lupa. Tapos, itong b, that is the width ng footing. Pwede natin sabihin ito yung b natin. Ito. This is your b. Yung lapad mismo ng footing natin. Kung dito yung top view, ito yung b, mga master. Gets niya na? Yung b, yun yung lapad ng footing. Ayun. After nating ma-determine yung ultimate bearing capacity, i-define naman natin. Itong ultimate bearing capacity, this is the maximum pressure that the soil can support. Ito yung maximum. Kapag umabot ka ng maximum, ano mangyayari sa footing ay sa soil? Magfa-fail. Mag-fail itong lupa mo, mga master. Mamaya tuturo ko yung 3 different types of failure na pwedeng mangyari sa lupa. No? Tapos, net bearing capacity. Ito naman yung bearing capacity pag tinanggal natin or niremove natin yung weight ng soil sa taas niya. No, mga master. It is the maximum pressure that the soil can support above its current overburden pressure. Yung net kasi, mga master, Q net, equal yan sa sa QU minus Q. Babawasan natin ang Q. This Q is gamma DF, mga master, no? Unit weight ng lupa times lalim ng footing. So, mina-minus natin yun sa ultimate bearing capacity. Tapos, ultimate gross naman, ayan yung total. The sum of ultimate bearing capacity and the overburden pressure above the footing or the footing base. Tapos, meron tayong tinatawag na allowable or safe bearing capacity. Kasi hindi naman sinasagad yung lakas ng lupa. Meron tayong safety factor, mga master, or factor of safety. So, allowable load is equal to ultimate divided by the factor of safety. So, hindi natin isasagad dito sa ultimate yung factor of safety natin, no? Tapos, meron din tayong tinatawag na factor of safety or safety factor, FS. Yun yung ratio ng ultimate bearing capacity sa allowable natin. So, ina-allow natin na gumamit tayo ng safety factor na 2 and 5. No? Dito naman tayo sa foundation types, mga master, no? Yung purpose daw ng foundation is to provide a solid base upon which the structure is built. Meron daw tayong dalawang failure mode na pwedeng mag-occur sa ating foundation. Yung una, settlement. Yung pangalawa naman is the bearing capacity. They are both related but traditional. Settlement involves deforming the soil without the development of a shear plane. Hindi tayo nagkakaroon ng shear sa sa foundation failure due to settlement. Ang nangyayari lang sa kanya is nagde-deform yung lupa. 'Di ba? Through the process of consolidation wherein the water and air will remove from the voids of our soil. Doon nangyayari yung settlement failure. Hindi siya nagkakaroon ng shear, mga master, no? Tapos, bearing capacity involves deforming the soil through the development of a shear plane beneath the foundation. Ayun. Ayun pala yung ibig niya sabihin. So, dalawa yung klase ng foundation. Yung una, yung shallow. Yung mababaw lang na pagkakabaon. Ayan. Yung una, spread footing or mat footing. Tapos, yung pangalawa naman is yung mga malalalim na talagang foundation, like pile foundation. Tapos itong isa, malalim din yung pagkakabaon nito. Ginagamitan siya ng malalim na embedment depth. Or tinatawag natin din siyang DF or embedment depth. Mga master, no? So, ganun yan. Hindi ko mabasa yung kung anong type ng foundation to eh. Ayan. So, next na tayo. Ultimate bearing capacity for ano lang tayo ngayon? Shallow foundations. Siguro ituturo ko next topic natin yung ito mga pile footing. Ayan. Or single pile footing muna tapos group file and its efficiency sa soil, no? So, tingnan naman natin ito. Para daw maintindihan natin yung principle or yung concept sa ultimate bearing capacity ng lupa, kailangan nating malaman yung mode ng failure, no, mga master, sa lupa. Kunwari meron tayong mahabang rectangular footing na merong width na B. Ayan. Located at the surface of a dense sand layer or steep soil as shown below. So we are considering this one, no? When a uniformly distributed load of Q per unit area is applied to the footing, it will settles. Ayun, bababa daw yung lupa natin at some level. If the uniformly distributed load is increased, the settlement of the footing gradually increases, mga master. When the value of Q is reached, mga master, bearing capacity failure occurs. Ayun. Ibig sabihin din na yun yung capacity ng lupa para ma-fail siya into shear. The footing undergoes a very large settlement without any further increase of Q. So, di mo na kayang dagdagan itong Q, mga master, kasi yun na talaga yung capacity ng lupa mo The soil on one or both sides of the foundation bulges and the slip surface extends to the ground surface, mga master, no? So, paano nangyayari kapag in-apply natin ng load ng lupa? Ang nangyayari dyan, di ba ito yung lupa mo? This is your soil. Tapos, in-applyan mo ng pressure, mga master. Ayan. So, anong nangyayari sa lupa? Gumaganto siya. Nagkakaroon siya ng failure plane dito. Ayan. So, yung pressure na to, magtitilt kasi yung ano natin yung footing, magtitilt yan. Paano siya magtitilt? Pag ganito, ano nangyari? Magtitilt yung footing natin, mga master. Tatabingi. So, ipupush niya to. Ipupush niya yung lupa pag pataas. So, mangyayari, kung ito yung original ground surface mo, ipupush niya pataas. Ayan. Ayan ang mangyayari sa kanya, mga master. Ipupush niya pataas itong lupa. Ayan. Tapos, magkakaroon tayo ng shear dito. Meron ditong shear flow, mga master, no? We have a shear flow sa part na yan. Since pinush ng footing itong lupa pataas, no? So, kakontra naman itong part na to. So, this is your failure plane due to shear. Ayan. So, balikan natin itong handouts. May nag-chat yata. Yaman yan. Tapos, the ultimate bearing capacity QU is defined as that pressure causing a shear failure of the supporting soil lying immediately below and adjacent to the footing. Generally, 3 modes of failure have been identified, no? Pero dito sa graph na to, pinakita lang dito yung kung paano nag-occur yung general shear failure tsaka yung local shear failure. So, kung mapansin natin, mas maliit yung bearing capacity kapag nag-fail siya sa local shear failure. While sa general shear failure naman, mas mataas ang bearing capacity ng lupa na nag-fail sa general shear failure. Papakita ko yung dalawang pagkakaiba nila. So, yung una is the general shear failure. Ano nga ba itong general shear failure? It is a continuous failure surface develops between the edge of the footing and the ground surface. No? This type of failure is characterized by heaving at the ground surface accompanied by tilting of the footing. Tilting. Yung sinabi ko kanina, di ba nag-tilt ito? Tumabingi yung ating footing or nag-tilt. It occurs in soil of low compressibility such as dense sand or stiff clay. Yung mga lupang merong low compressibility, dun siya nangyayari. Yung general shear failure. No. Kapag naging tayo, geotechnical engineers, we have to identify the type of failure na pwede mangyari sa lupa based sa kanyang classification. If you want to make sure the type of failure, we have to conduct laboratory testing for consolidation or consolidation test, mga master. Kung gusto nating malaman yung compressibility of our soil, no? So, ito yung typical photo ng general shear failure. Ayun. So, kagaya na na-discuss ko, nag-heave. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng heave? Tumataas. Ayun, nagkakaroon kasi ng pressure, kaya tataas yung lupa mapataas. Ayan. Kaya tataas siya in some level. Kasi nga, pinush ng footing itong lupa pataas, no? Kaya nagkaroon ng shear failure. Yung iyong lupa, di ba? Ano pa? Ito yung graph ng settlement and load. Ayan. Copy ko lang ha. Ang nangyayari dito, mga master, tataas ng tataas yung load mo. Ayan, tataas ng tataas. At some point, ma-reach niya yung kanyang ultimate load bago siya mag-fail. Tapos, tumataas yung settlement, pero kahit bawasan mo siya ng load, tataas pa rin ng tataas yung kanyang settlement. Ayan, habang tumataas yung settlement, babalik ulit sa dati yung load na in-apply natin sa lupa. No? Tapos, pagdating dito, sa local shear failure, paano nangyayari itong local shear failure? Ayan na nangyayari sa local shear failure. So, this is a condition where significant compression of the soil occurs. Ayan, significant compression of soil, but only slight heave occurs. Ito yung heaving ng lupa, slight lang. No? Slight heaving will occur sa ating lupa. No? Tilting of the foundation is not expected. So, hindi daw mag-tilt or hindi inaasahan or most probably hindi siya mag-tilt. This type of failure occurs in highly compressible soil and the ultimate bearing capacity is not well defined. No? The failure plane does not reach the ground surface because the shear makes the soil denser and the geometry changes with the settlement. So, kung napansin natin, hindi siya umaabot doon sa ground surface, yung failure. Hindi siya mag-fail. Dito lang mag-fail yung lupa. Pag ganun. Kasi, nako-compress itong part na to. Kung drawing ko to, mga master, ito yung ating lupa. Ito yung ating footing. Ayan. Pag nag-tilt ito, Pero mas likely hindi siya masyado magtitilt eh. Kasi kinocompress niya yung lupa natin pag ganyan siya. Ayan, hanggang dyan lang. Tama ba? Pag ganyan mga master. Ayan. Ayan yung failure plane niya. No? So, ganyan siya fail. Ito yung shear. Naya-shear pa din. Meron ka pa rin shear flow dyan. Kaso nga, ano, sobrang compressible kasi itong soil natin. Kaya, hindi siya abot dun sa sa taas, yung failure plane. Kasi, it is a high unit weight yung lupa mo. No, mga master. Ganun yon. Kapag meron kang high unit weight of soil or denser soil, local shear failure may occur. So, ito yung kanyang graph. Hindi naliliit yung yung load na kine-carry ng lupa. No. Tapos, yung punching shear failure, it is somehow related sa punching shear dun sa dun sa strength of materials, punching shear. Yung na-shear na part, di ba, yung sa gilid lang. Parang coin, mga master. Yung surface sa palibot ng coin, yun yung part na nagkakaroon ng shear failure. No? So, ganun yung most likely na mangyayari. Parang local shear failure lang din to. Mga master, no? So, tignan na natin. Ayan. So, yung 3 types ng failure described above were observed by Vesic during tests on model footings. His observation are as follows. Yung una, shallow foundations in rock and under undrained place are governed by general shear failure. Ayan. Tapos, ito kasi yung base sa density niya, relative density. Pwede nating malaman yung failure based sa relative density ng lupa. Tanggalin ko muna to, no? So, ito yung ating graph based sa relative density ng lupa, no? Ito, relative density. Itong relative density, di ba diniscuss ko to nung soil 1? Your relative density. Mas mataas na density or relative density, mas mag-fail siya due to general shear failure. Tapos, kapag between lang siya, siguro mga point 38 ganon. 0.38, ito naman 0.0 siya, something, 67 siguro. Bisa tansya natin 0.38 and 0.67. No? Ayan na mangyari. Local shear failure lang dito. Sa mas maliit na relative density. No? So, ito yung isa pang napansin ni Basic. Shallow foundations in dense sands are governed by the general shear case. No? Sa mga dense sands. In this context, a dense sand is with relative density of greater than 67%. So, tama yung assume natin. 67%. No? Ano pa? Shallow foundations on loose or medium dense sand are possibly governed by local shear. Ayan, mas mag-occur daw siya sa local shear. Itong medium dense medium dense sands and loose to medium dense. So, it is around 30% hanggang 67% ng relative density. Tapos, shallow foundations on very loose sand, let's say less than 30%, are probably governed by punching shear. Ayun. Ganun ang most likely na mangyayari sa ating lupa. Ayan. So, dito na tayo sa Tersagi's bearing capacity equation. So, si Tersagi, pinulot niya lang yung knowledge from Prandtl. Ito, Prandtl. He used the same form of equation as proposed by Prandtl and extended his theory to take into account the weight ng lupa and the effect ng soil above the base of the foundation on the bearing capacity of soil. Si Tersagi made the following assumption for developing an equation for determining the QU or the ultimate bearing capacity for a C-P soil. Ayan. Ito yung bearing capacity failure in soil under a rough, rigid, continuous foundation. Ano yung pinropose ni Tersagi, mga master? Yung unang proposal ni Tersagi, inassume niya yung lupa is a semi-infinite, homogeneous, and isotropic. Diniscuss ko to doon sa permeability. Pag sinabing homogeneous, yung hydraulic conductivity ng lupa, same lang sa vertical and horizontal. Ayan. Isotropic, I think, same material yung lupa natin, no? Tapos, the problem is two-dimensional only. Based sa two-dimensional yung failure na ginawa ni Tersagi. Yung pangatlo, the base of footing is rough so that hindi mangyayari yung sliding. There is no sliding that will occur or takes place sa footing natin. Sa rough nga, ibig sabihin, sobrang taas yung friction sa part na yon. Tapos, the failure is by general shear. Yung pinropose si Tersagi, Yung panglima naman, the load is vertical and symmetrical. Ayan. Ibig sabihin, yung load natin, same lang. Uniformly distributed. Hindi siya triangular load. Hindi pwede mag-tilt. Walang bending sa footing. Tapos, the ground surface is horizontal. Mga master, no? Pang-pito, the overburden pressure at the foundation level is equivalent to surcharge load, Q. It is equal to unit weight of soil times the depth of the footing. No? Where the gamma is the effective unit weight of soil and dF, the depth of foundation less than the width B of the foundation. Pangwalo niya, the principle of superposition is valid. Ibig sabihin, we can conduct integration sa kunwari, mahaba. Pwede siya sa point load, pwede siya sa circular load, pwede rin maging square load, rectangular load. We can use the principle of superposition by integration. Tapos, Coulomb's law is strictly valid. At this is the more column failure criterion, wherein the tau is equal to C plus phi ay sigma tan phi. Kung i-drawing natin yung ating graph, this is your shear. This is your shear. Ito naman yung normal stress. Ito yung line of failure envelope, tawag natin dito. This is your failure envelope. Ito yung ano natin, angle of internal friction, phi, or phi. Tapos, kung maglalagay tayo ng isang ano dito, ayan, this is your sigma. At yung part dito, this is your cohesion. Yung equation of this line is just equivalent to C plus sigma tan phi. Bakit sigma tan phi? Ayan. Kukunin mo tong height na to. That is just a sigma tan phi, mga master, no? Kaya yung total height, C. Ayan na. C plus sigma tan phi. This is your total shear stress. Total shear stress to, tau. Ayan. That is your total shear stress. Cohesion plus sigma tan phi. No? Opposite over adjacent, di ba? Ganon yun, mga master. Kaya nakuha natin itong value ng shear strength of soil. So, pinag-aaralan pa rin pala yung shear strength of soil dito sa bearing capacity. So, tingnan naman natin yung mechanism of failure ng lupa. No? The failure zone under the foundation can be separated into 3 parts. So, 3 parts yung zone niya. Balikan natin itong figure. Kakopy ko to, ha. Meron daw siyang 3 parts, mga master. Tanggalin natin to. Lalakayan ko to. Ayan. Meron siyang 3 parts. Yung unang part is this one. The first part is this one. Second part naman is ito. Nangyari. Ayan. Second part is this one. Second part. Ayan. Ayan ang second part natin. Yung pangatlong part naman is ito. This is the third part. Ano nga ba yung tatlong part na yan sa ating bearing capacity? Sa pag-aaralan natin kung ano yung mga tatlong yan. So, yung unang part daw, based dun sa figure, is the soil wedge ABJ. Ito yun. Ito yung first part. That is the zone 1. Is an elastic zone. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Immediate settlement will occur. Immediate elastic settlement will occur dyan sa part na yan. Both AJ and BJ make an angle of phi with the horizontal. Phi. Ayan ang inasyam ni Tarsagia. Phi daw. Yung value ng angle of failure. No? Number 2, zones mark 2, AJE and BJD. AJE, nasan yan? AJE. Ito. Ito yung una, AJE. Itong part na to yung AJE. Tapos, BJD. BJD. Itong part na to, BJD. So, yung part daw na yan is the radial shear zones or Prandtl zones. No? Radial shear yung nangyayari dyan. Tapos, ito namang zone 3 is the Rankine passive zones. So, natatandaan nyo yung pinrepose si Rankine, mga master. Diba, every point of the soil nasa verge of failure. Nasa verge of failure yung failure ng part na yan. Kung aking lalakayan yan, ayan, triangle na yan, ganito maging itsura nyan. Ay. Ganyan na maging itsura. I-flip ko lang, ha. rotate, vertical, flip vertical. Ayan. Yung angle of failure ni Rankine, kung natatandaan nyo, that is equivalent to 45 minus phi over 2 or theta over 2. Tama ba? Or phi over 2. That is your theta. Ayan. So, lahat ng part, so, pwede kong gawin ganito. Pwede siya mag-fail pa ganyan, pa ganyan, pa ganyan. Lahat ng plane, ganyan ng failure. Dito rin sa kabila. Yan, pwede siya mag-fail na pa ganyan. So, every point, every element, nasa verge ng failure. So, ayan yung pinropose ni Rankine. Kaya tinawag siyang Rankine zone. Rankine passive zone. Mga master, no? Itong Rankine passive zone, kaya siya ginamit na passive kasi, di ba kung natatanda natin dun sa sa lateral earth pressure, yung passive force mas mataas. So, pinipigilan niya yung active force na pinipigilan niya yung active force. Sabihin natin na nandito yung active force. Pinupush niya yung lupa pataas, di ba? Ayan, pinupush niya yung lupa pataas. Let's say this is your total active force. At yung passive force na pumipigil sa kanya ay mas mataas para mapigilan natin yung pag-fail ng lupa. So, that is a Rankine passive zone. So, balikan natin ito. There are three parts to Terzaghis bearing equation that contribute to P sub P on the elastic zone. Ito yung elastic zone natin. P sub P. No. Ayan. Itong P sub P, merong tatlong force na nag-aano sa kanya. Nagko-contribute para mapigilan yung P sub P. Yung una is ito. This is just the pressure at a depth of H dito. Plus the cohesion plus the bearing or yung soil pressure Q dahil sa soil pressure. Ayan. Ito naman unit weight times height dahil sa pressure ng lupa to, di ba? Ito naman ito yung dahil sa footing. Itong Q, this is P over A ng QU, no? Ayan. Yung una daw, friction along soil wedge. Pangalawa is the cohesion along the soil wedge. Yung pangatlo naman, that is the weight of the surcharge. Surcharge weight yung Q. Ito yung surcharge na in-apply natin sa lupa, 'di ba? Galing to sa footing, yung QU. In-apply natin to sa lupa. Ito naman yung una, 1/2 unit weight times height squared. Ito yung pressure ng ito yung bigat ng lupa na binubuhat ng elastic element or elastic zone. Tama ba? Ganun siya, tatlong part. Yung una, bigat ng lupa. Pangalawa, cohesion. Pangatlo, is the surcharge weight na in-apply natin sa lupa. Ito yung derivation niya, mga master. Sa elastic zone, ayan yung itsura niya. So, using the principle of superposition, the contribution from soil weight, soil cohesion, and surcharge can be combined into a single equation to produce the ultimate bearing capacity or the Q ultimate. So, para ma-produce daw yung ultimate bearing capacity, Ito yung equation. C and C plus Q and Q and 1/2 gamma B and gamma. Itong C galing sa cohesion. Ano natin yun, di ba? Itong Q galing sa surcharge ng footing. Yung pangatlo naman galing mismo sa weight ng failure wedge. No? Itong NC, NQ, and gamma, these are the bearing capacity factor. Ayan, based sa the angle of internal friction. Pwede rin natin sabing angle of repose. So, ito yung graph or table. Kunwari, given yung angle of internal friction mo, dito mo siya titignan, mga master, no? Dito mo siya titignan. So, square footing, ito yung formula. Wait lang. Ito yung formula for square footing. 1.3. Nagkaroon tayo ng shape factor na 1.3 kapag square footing. C prime and C plus Q and Q plus 0.4. Di ba 0.5 yan? Nagkaroon ulit ng shape factor dito. Kaya imbis na 0.5, magiging 0.4 siya. 0.4 gamma B and gamma. Based yan sa empirical research of Carter-Sagi. Kapag naman daw circular footing, ito yung formula na gagamitin. Nagkaroon ulit ng shape factor na 1.3 and 0.3. 0.3 naman dito sa unit weight of soil for our circular footing. For manual graphing of the value of NC and gamma and NQ, ito yung graph na titignan natin. So, yung bearing capacity factor, naka logarithmic scale siya. Ito namang ating mga angle dito, naka algebraic scale. Ibig sabihin, ordinary scale na pwede nating i-apply. Ayan, by graphing sa ating graph dito. Pwede natin siya i-graph, pwede rin natin tayong tumingin dito sa table. Kapag hindi binigay yung NC, NQ, and the N gamma. Sa board exam, sinasolve itong NC, NQ, and N gamma, mga master. Hindi binibigay sa board exam, ha. Kaya, we have to find the true value of NC, NQ, and N gamma. So, take note, magkaiba yung value nila for different types of failure. No? So, tignan naman natin ito, modification of Tersagi's bearing capacity equation. Based sa laboratory study pa rin to, ni maraming soil scientists na nag-propose. Ayan. Yung nature ng failure ni Tersagi na na-adapt niya kay Basic, in-implement natin. Pero yung value daw ng phi is approaching to the value of 45 plus phi over 2 than the actual value of phi, which is assumed by Tersagi. So, itong value ng phi dito sa dito yun, no? Value of phi, nandito siya. Ayan yung phi, yung angle dyan. Balikan natin yung figure. Ito, itong triangle na to, galing dito yon. Galing dito yon, mga master. Galing dyan. Ayan, galing dyan yung triangle na yan. So, itong value daw ng phi na to, ito yung phi eh. Yung phi na yan, papalitan daw natin ng 45 plus phi over 2. So, yan yung gagamitin na angle. Using that angle, we will modify the Terzaghi-Bering equation. Actually, yung mga value ng ano natin. Ito na magiging formula. The bearing capacity factors are expressed by the following equation. NC equals NQ minus 1 over tan phi. Tapos may nagbigay rin si Prandtl yung nag-ano niyan. Yung nag-propose ng equation na to. Tapos si Reisner noong year 1924 naman nag-propose siya ng value ng NQ, which is this one. Pwede natin sabihin na tan squared 45 plus phi prime over 2 e raised to pi tan phi. Mga master, mas madalas ito ginagamit ko kaysa dito, no? So, tingnan natin to. Si Kakot and Kerisel noong year 1953 and si Basic naman noong year 1973 nag-propose din ng equation. Madalas kasi hindi naman binibigay itong passive pressure coefficient, kaya ito na lang gagamitin natin. 2nq plus 1 tan phi. Pwede natin gamitin yung mga values niyan. Tignan naman natin kapag nasa local shear failure. Paano ba yung bearing capacity kapag under local shear failure tayo? So, yung reasons as to why a soil fails under local shear have been explained above. So, naturo ko na, di ba, kanina, kung paano siya mag-fail under local shear failure. When a soil fails by local shear, the actual shear parameters C and phi are to be reduced as per Terzaghi's noong year 1943. The lower limiting value of C and phi are ito. Yung C natin is equal to 2/3 of your cohesion. Yung tan phi prime naman natin is equal to 2/3 ng tan phi. Kung under local shear yung ating failure. Ito naman yung modified bearing capacity factors, NC, NQ, and N gamma are calculated using the same general equations at that for NC, NQ, and N gamma, but by substituting the value of phi, magiging ano na daw, tan negative 1 2/3 tan phi. So yung equation sa taas daw, ma-apply mo pa rin. Kaso, yung phi na gagamitin daw, hindi na yon. Hindi na yung actual phi. So, ito na din gagamitin natin. Minamultiply ng 2/3 yung tan phi. Ayan. So, by substituting phi equals arctangent of 2/3 of tan phi for the value of phi and using the table provided below. Ayan. Ito yung Terzaghi's modified bearing capacity factors para sa local shear failure. So, ito yung mga values niya. So, kung gagamitin yung equation sa taas, ito. Same lang yung ilalabas ng table na to. Kapag nangyari na 31.5 for example, wala sa table, di ba? We can use linear interpolation sa table, no? So ito yung ating graph for local shear failure. We can use this graph, no? The net ultimate bearing capacity and the factor of safety na tayo. Yung net ultimate bearing capacity, na-discuss ko na siya kanina. That is just QU minus Q. Ayan. For strip footing, ito yung gagamitin natin. So, kahit anong footing, basta ima-minus mo lang yung Q. Mga master, no? Where yung Q is gamma DF. The factor of safety is intended to compensate for the assumptions made in developing the bearing capacity equation. So, ito yung factor of safety. Ito yung parameter na gagamitin para ma-ensure natin na hindi talaga siya abot sa ultimate bearing capacity. That is just for ano muna, allowable bearing capacity. So, ano nga ba yung allowable bearing capacity? Ito yung we can calculate it by dividing the ultimate bearing capacity by a factor of safety. Ayan. For gross allowable, QU over Fs. Para naman sa net allowable, QU minus Q over Fs. So, ganyan siya mga master, no? Q allowable net. Next is the effect of water table sa bearing capacity. So, meron tayong different cases para sa effect ng water table. So, yung case 1, if the groundwater table is located at a distance d from the bottom of the foundation. So, yung sukat natin, mag-start ka sa pinakailalim ng foundation, paakyat. Ayan. The magnitude of Q in the second term of the bearing capacity equation should be calculated as gamma dF minus d plus gamma prime d. Or simply, kung ayaw natin mag-memorize, ito lang naman yung effective stress dun sa pinakailalim ng footing. So, kukunin lang natin yung effective stress dun sa pinakailalim ng footing, no? Replace gamma to gamma sat minus gamma W on the third term, no? Ibig sabihin, submerged unit weight ang gagamitin natin sa gamma. Imbis na gamma, yung gamma ng lupa. No, mga master. Yung pangalawang case, if the groundwater table coincides with the bottom of the foundation, yung magnitude daw ng Q is equal to gamma dF. Kapag nandito naman daw yung tubig, sakto sa ilalim ng footing. However, the unit weight gamma in the third term of the bearing capacity equation should be replaced by submerged unit weight. No? Ganun pa din. Ito naman yung pangatlong case natin. Malapit tayo mag-solve ng problem. When the groundwater table is at a depth D, below the bottom of the foundation, yung Q natin, gamma dF. Gamma dF na. Effective stress pa rin. Kasi wala naman tayong tubig, kaya unit weight times height lang. The magnitude of gamma in the third term of the bearing capacity equation should be replaced by gamma average. So, hindi yung unit weight niya ang gagamitin natin. So, meron tayong condition. Kapag daw yung D is mas maliit sa B, ito gagamitin natin. Unit weight times D submerged unit weight B minus D. B minus D mga master. Bakit? Ganito kasi yon. Para di na tayo mag-memorize. Kinukuha natin yung unit weight divided by the B, mga master, para makuha talaga yung actual unit weight. Ganito yan mga master. Ganito kasi siya. Ito yung footing, di ba? Footing. Ito yung B. Kung ayaw natin mag-memorize, ito yung principle behind that formula. Kung bakit siya na-form. So, susukat tayo ng B dito. Start ka dito. Meron kang B dyan. Hanggang dun yung B, di ba? Meron kang tubig dito. Tubig, no? Water table. Water table. Ayan. Kukunin mo yung stress dito. Effective stress. Effective stress. Ito ang lalim ng footing papunta dun sa water table. That is D. Diba? So, itong part na to, that is just B minus D. No? So, unit weight ng lupa times D. Tama ba? Ito kasi buong to, ito yung B. Ito kasi yung buong B mga master. We need to determine the unit weight average. Kapag meron kang tuyong lupa, tsaka basang lupa. No? Dry and moist. Or saturated, no? So, ganito lang yan. Gamma AB times B. Ayan, unit weight times height lang yan. It is equal to D times or unit weight times D. Effective stress, di ba? Yung kinukuha natin. Plus Y prime. B minus D. Kung babalikan natin to, Y prime, B minus D. Makakuha natin yung value ng average unit weight. This equal to 1 over B multiply to gamma D plus, pwede nating gawing ganito. Y sat minus gamma times B minus D. Ayan. So, ito yung gagamitin natin gamma AB dun sa term ng Tersagis bearing capacity. Ito, yung gamma dito. Ayan, nakikita nyo to, yung naka-highlight. Yung gamma dyan, ayan ang gagamitin natin gamma. No, mga master. Kapag daw yung D natin greater than B, yung gamma AB natin, edi yung unit weight na lang. Kasi nga, nandito na yung tubig. Wala na siyang effect dito sa ano natin, sa unit weight na gagamitin. Kapag napunta dito, gamma av is equal to unit weight. Ganun lang siya kasimple, mga master. That is just effective stress. No? Yung Q naman daw na gagamitin, since hindi naman siya nababad sa tubig sa case 3, yung Q na gagamitin is gamma dF pa din. Ayan, gamma D sub F. So, ayun yung principle. Sa problem tayo, problem number 5.1. Meron tayong 4 na problem na isa-solve. No? So, stop ko muna.